The old wet boiler room floor. So we had a coil retraction on our Intelihot boiler cabinet here. There's 6 heat exchangers in these, and there's a real problematic component to these right here where the supply line hooks up to the head of the heat exchanger. This is where it connects to the coil inside. If you have any issues with your water system or your facility, we thought it was a waterhammer situation at ours, but we still haven't figured out entirely what's going on. It will break this where this inlet comes into the exchanger right here. It bursts, it breaks right there, and it shoots water out. In this case, it was this heat exchanger on the back. I believe it's unit number 4. Burst and sprayed water all over the inside of the cabinet. So this happens quite a bit here at our facility. We kind of got it down to a science at this point. First thing you do when you walk up to the cabinet, obviously kill the power on that shutoff right there. Then we want to come over, we're going to isolate the supply and the return. So there's the supply, there's a return. I'm going to get those completely valved off. There's going to be a ton of water in the bottom of the cabinet, so you can use a screwdriver, pop this this drain cap out here and let it drain out. Of course, you know, more water on the boiler room floor. Couple of things you got to approach on this situation immediately. This one sprayed the entire inside of the cabinet. Usually, a lot of times we'll keep the doors off of these because if one breaks like that, sometimes it'll shoot out of the cabinet into your boiler room floor or whatever, and it may not hit all these electronics. But unfortunately, this time we had both these sets of doors on the back. That's the exchanger that burst, and yeah, it just shot all over the inside of the cabinet. So step 1 is going to be getting this thing dried out with a shop vac and an air hose, blowing it out with the tip there. I'm going to blow out all these electronics. I'm going to shop vac as much of the big water out of here as I can. Make sure that everything is as dry as possible on all these electronics on each of the heat exchangers as well. And we're going to put a couple big snail fans on here for 3 or 4 hours and just really try to get this thing dry. For the repair, these are usually laying up on top of our cabinets. We're going to use a couple of these TMP valves to isolate each one of these supplies and returns on these heat exchangers. So we're going to remove the supply, basically just going to cap it off with this valve, and that will isolate this cabinet, or I'm sorry, isolate this heat exchanger, and we can probably fire the cabinet back up once it's dried out. Kind of a no-brainer too. Start at the top. Get your old chair fan. This is the setup. This is what it requires. This is legit. Get your chair fan, scoot it up here. Just like so. Real critical part here. You want to turn that up to about 11.
Engineering, come in, please.
Another good thing to do, guys, when you're isolating one of these, go ahead and disconnect as many wiring harnesses as possible, just to limit how many issues you could have when you try to fire back up. Finish pulling this guy off. Just gonna stick this valve in here like so. Just give her a little snug. Make sure she's closed. Do the same thing to the bottom side. So another thing about these, this one isn't super loose. This may not be broken. There may be an O-ring issue going on in here on this inlet. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it apart and see if I can identify anything that's broken, because it doesn't seem to be standard broken. Another thing, once you get the part that's obviously broken isolated, I always like to give it another check, because if it's a large water hammer event or something that really caused a big issue, sometimes you might have more than one broken inlet here, but it doesn't sound like or look like anything else is dripping, so I think we're good. And it looks like our TMP valves are holding fine. So we've been drying out for a couple hours. Everything's looking pretty dry. I turned the supply on, not seeing anything else leaking anywhere. I think we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the supply on now. I'd already turned on the return there. So we're gonna try to fire this bad boy up. Let's move our patented chair fan. All right. So we're gonna turn power on here first. We'll see if it faults back out. Looks like we're firing. We got lights, we got action. See how this display is looking over here.